Hello friends, we are in the module number 2 and we are discussing about this corrosion and metal finishing. And under metal finishing, in this session we will be discussing about the electroless plating, the advantages of electroless plating, okay, differentiation between the electro and electroless plating, and also the electroless plating of the nickel. Coming to the electroplating is a process of coating a layer of any suitable metal or a superior metal on the base metal by using direct current. Correct, no? So what is the electroless plating then? Electroless, name itself says, okay, no need to use the electricity. Okay, then what else we can use? What is the source of energy here? What is the source of electrons here? Let us see in this session. Electroless plating is it is defined as the process in which okay, it's a depositing of a metal on a catalytically active surface. Okay, by using the reducing agents and without using any electricity is known as electroless plating. Okay, it is a process of deposition of another layer on a catalytically active surface without using any electric current, and by using some chemical reducing agents is known as electroless plating. In the electroless plating, what happens when we use some reducing agents? When we use the reducing agents Mn plus an electrons gives M. Okay, metal ions are getting reduced to the elemental metal and that gets deposited on the article to be plated. Examples are electroless plating processes of copper, nickel, etc. Okay, so here what is the catalytically active surface? In the case of electroplating, we used to give the pre-treatment, right? Okay, we will be cleaning the substrate with organic solvent, acid, okay, sandblasting, and finally polishing, right? In the case of electroless plating, as we are not using the electric current, the process will be going very slowly. Then how to activate it? Okay, that is done by making the catalytically active surface. Making the catalytically active surface means the substrate to be plated, no, it will be treated with stannous chloride and palladium chloride containing the HCl. When it is treated with stannous chloride and palladium chloride containing HCl, no, it will become active. Okay, until the reaction is beginning here, this coated layer will be acting as a catalyst. Okay, and once one layer is coated on the surface of the substrate, that coated layer will start acting as a catalyst to promote the reaction. That's why the electroless plating processes are called as catalytically active surfaces. Catalytically active. Okay, they will be initiating or they will be promoting the reactions which are also called autocatalytic redox reactions. Autocatalytic redox reactions. Okay, and they are also called as catalytically active surfaces because they promote the rate of the reaction until one layer is formed. Once one layer is coated, that layer will be acting as a catalyst to promote the reaction because we are not using any source of the electric current. This layer only will be acting as a catalyst to fasten the rate of the reactions. Okay, I think it's clear. You must write the definition in the same way. It should not be changed. Okay, you have to use the standard words. It's a process of depositing a thin layer of any suitable metal on a catalytically active surface by using a reducing agent and without using any electric supply. Fine, it's called as a electroless plating. And what are all the advantages of the electroless plating? The advantages are use of electricity is not required. Okay, you don't have to use any electric current. In the case of the electroplating, we can plate only in the conductors, right? In the case of electroless plating, anything like semiconductors, so insulators, glass, plastics, anything can be plated by using this electroless plating. And even small parts of machineries can be plated uniformly. Okay, and no levelers are required here because here the throwing power will be very good. When the throwing power is very good, no need to use the levelers. Okay, generally the electroless plating baths will be having a very good throwing power. Okay, throwing power is what is throwing power? Throwing power is the ability of the plating bath to give a thin and uniform coating on all over the surface of the article, irrespective of the shape of the object. Whatever the shape of the object you will take, okay, when the throwing power is good, you will be getting a thin and uniform coating on all over the surface of the object to be plated. Okay, and compared to the electroplating process, electroless plating coatings will be generally harder. Fine. And then let us see the difference between the electroplating and electroless plating. Okay, this is one of the important question. Okay, the question asked here will be, what is electroless plating? What are the advantages? Okay, or they will ask like, what is electroless plating? Differentiate electro and electroless plating. Okay, easily you can score marks. It's very easy to remember. Okay, so you know the definition for electroless plating and you know the advantages of electroless plating also. Okay, you just compare. Okay, it is very easy to. Okay, let us see what are the differences between the electroplating and electroless plating. Okay, the driving force in the case of the electroplating is a current, direct current we are using, right? At the same in the case of the electroless plating is it's autocatalytic redox reaction. Okay, autocatalytic redox reaction without using any electric current. And anode in the case of the electroplating is, as we are using direct current, two terminals must be there, the anode and cathode, right? Okay, so separate anode is required there. And in the case of the electroless plating, no, it is not required. No separate anode and cathode are required. Okay, the cathode is the only the coating, the object to be plated, only that is enough. No separate anode is required here. All the reactions will be taking place on the surface of the object itself. Okay, and the cathode in the case of the electroplating is object to be plated. Even here it is the object to be plated in both the cases. And the reducing agent here are in the case of electroplating, electrons from direct current. Okay, in the case of the electroless plating, it is by using the chemical reducing agent substances. Okay, the chemical reagents are supplying the electrons here. And coming to the throwing power, it is the ability of the plating bath to give a thin and uniform coating. It is less in the case of electroplating, and throwing power is very good in the case of electroless plating. Okay, and applicability is electroplating can be applicable only to the conductors. Okay, and in the case of the electroless plating, it can be coated on anything, any substance, conductors, non-conductors, insulators, plastics, anything can be plated well by using this electroless plating. This is the differentiation of the electro and electroless plating process. Okay friends, next topic is electroplating of nickel. Okay, so in the process of electroplating of nickel, the metal substrate that is to be plated, no, it's degreased. Okay, and by using any organic solvent, okay, like hot alkali treatment, followed by pickling, which removes the scales and hardly adhered impurities. Okay, non-metallic objects, no, if we are using the non-metallic objects to plate, no, they should be dipped in a stannous chloride and palladium chloride mixture containing a HCl, so that the surface will become active. Okay, please to remember friends, in the case of insulators and non-conductors, when we dip the substrate in a mixture containing stannous chloride and palladium chloride containing HCl, the surface will become activated. Okay, then only it will be start acting as a autocatalytic redox reaction, and it will become a catalytically active surface. Okay, coming to the bath composition of the nickel electroless plating, here we are using the electrolyte solution, that is any salts of the nickel, like nickel chloride or nickel sulfate. Here nickel chloride is used, and we must use the reducing agent, right, because that is the source of the power here. So the reducing agent used is a hypophosphate. Buffers are used to maintain the required pH. So here we are using acetate buffer to maintain the pH of around 4 to 5. Okay, and here the complexing agents are used. Okay, complexing agent used here is a sodium succinate. Okay, complexing agents are used generally when two substances are reacting. Okay, to avoid the reactions, complexing agents are used. It will be complexing any one of the reagent, and it will make to avoid the reaction to happen. Okay, and temperature required for this process is around 45 to 60 degrees, and the cathode is article to be plated, that is pre-treated by using what I said before, that is by treating with stannous and palladium chloride. And the reactions that are taking place here in the case of the nickel electroless plating are H3PO2 will be there. It reacts with water to form H3PO3 plus hydrogen ions with electrons. Okay, and the liberated electrons are accepted by the nickel ions to get converted into the elemental nickel that gets coated on the substrate to be plated. So the overall reaction when H3PO2 reacts with water is H3PO3 is formed with the hydrogen ions. Okay, and both the reactions are taking place on the surface of the substrate itself. Okay, as there is liberation of the H plus ions in the process, the pH tends to decrease. Okay, so that will be maintained by adding a suitable buffer solutions. As there is a release of H plus ions in the reaction in this process of nickel plating. Okay, when H plus ions are released, what will happen? The pH will be reduced. So to maintain the constant required pH of 4 to 5, suitable buffer solutions are used here. Fine. So this is the end of the nickel plating process. So electrolysis plating of nickel is over. Next session we will be meeting with the electrolysis plating of copper on PCB. Until then, thank you.